Hello, I'm Kyle and this is my husband Gary, and this is our youngest son Curtis, who this is all about. Curtis is 7 now. He's a big boy 7. He has a list of conditions, forelimb cerebral palsy being one. He is registered blind. He is peg fed, he has epilepsy, he has scoliosis, he has hip dysplasia, but he is, at the end of it all, a little boy who likes rough and tumble, who's always got a smile on his face. And because of Curtis's condition, the only part of his body that he can actually move is his head.
And he's listening really carefully at the moment to everything we're saying.
Are you listening?
Curtis?
Hey? You're demonstrating your head movements?
Yes.
Yes, there we go. So we've been a family with Curtis since he was 12 weeks? 12 weeks old. We were his respite family, so he came to us for a weekend when he was 12 weeks old to give his foster family a break, so for some respite. And then Curtis came for a weekend, and then he came for a week, and then he came for 2 weeks.
And then we couldn't get rid of him, could we?
And then we were asked to take...
Curly?
Are you listening? And then we were asked to take Curtis on full time to be his foster family. But we were told that at that period of time, Curtis' life expectancy was only going to be roughly a year. So we were told, be careful with your attachments, don't get too fond, prepare yourselves. And here we are, we got to his first birthday. Then for a rocky year, we got to his second birthday because he spent a period in time in St George's.
And it's always tricky, isn't it, when he goes into hospital? It's always a tough time, but he bounces back really, really quickly, actually, doesn't he?
And then we got to his 3rd birthday and his 4th birthday and his 5th birthday, and here we are now on his 7th birthday. So all of this is unknown for us and for Curtis and the professionals that support Curtis, because Curtis shouldn't be here, but clearly is.
He's our miracle little boy, aren't you, Curly Whirly? That's what we call him, Curly Whirly. That's his nickname.
His nickname.
And Curtis doesn't say much, but he's just changed our lives, doesn't he?
Completely.
And he lights up every room that he goes into, and he's a very popular... Oh, yes, look, he's looking around now going, yes, Dad, I'm a popular little boy.
You listening?
Look at that smile.
Yes. And Curtis will sort of do eyes up and over as like a yes.
There
Thank you.
go.
Yeah, just like that. Well, perfectly demonstrated. So what we're hoping to do is raise some funds for Curtis so that he has it's called a Smart Mustang wheelchair, power chair, which Curtis solely controls with his head. So
Curtis can't move his arms or his legs, so his head is the only thing that he has control over, isn't it?
Yeah, and so this chair is a marvellous piece of kit. Curtis can sit in the chair, and then the chair follows a track on the floor, which is all movable, so he can go around the garden, he can go over all the bumpy bits, he can go over the grass, he can go in and out the house. And as soon as you put Curtis in the chair, he's looking for the head switch to hit. And he presses the switch with his head, and the chair follows the track, and he loves it. And it just gives him... Curtis doesn't make any choices in his life, so we assume this is where Curtis wants to be, because we want him by us. If we go out in the garden, we'll assume that Curtis wants to be in the shade, or Curtis wants to be by a particular plant, or he wants to be by his brothers or sisters. So we have to make all the choices for Curtis. So the idea that Curtis can tap a switch on his chair and his chair will go to another part of the garden or another part of the house it enables Curtis for the first time in his life to actually make...
Oh,
bless you!
Oh, there we go again.
Good boy.
You alright?
You okay?
Yeah.
So the idea of the chair is not only giving Curtis the freedom to be where he wants to be, but actually for the first time in Curtis' life, it's enabling him to make a choice of where, it's enabling him to make a choice of where he wants to be in the house, where he wants to be in the garden, whether he wants to be on his own or whether he wants to be with his brothers and sisters running around doing stuff.
I think what's amazing though, isn't it, is for people that don't know Curtis, he looks as if he's just sitting there and that he's not playing an active part in his own life really. Because, you know, he doesn't move much, but he's taking absolutely everything in, isn't he? And he's always trying to look around to see light and shade, aren't you, Curtis? And the moment he was put in that chair and the people who were assessing his needs for that chair thought, you know, well, we'll give it a go.
See how it goes.
Yeah, and, you know, they were expecting maybe 5 different sessions over time for him to learn. And within 10 minutes, he'd picked up the youth. He's smiling because he knows within 10 minutes he'd picked up how to use the head switch to actually operate the chair. And we must never underestimate what's going on in that little head of Curtis's.
What was also nice to see was when he was going through the assessment and they turned the chair off, Curtis got really angry, which was lovely to see because Curtis isn't an angry child by any stretch of the imagination. You know, if he was able-bodied, he'd definitely grow up to be a surfer dude because he's so laid back. But Curtis was hitting the switch with his head and nothing was happening, so he just went, as though to go, come on, you know, I want to be going again. So it was really good to see that not only was Curtis able to press the switch to activate the chair, but Curtis was making a purposeful and meaningful connection between touching the switch and the chair moving, and then the chair being turned off and still touching the switch but nothing happening. So it showed a level of understanding that we didn't actually know Curtis had actually got, but that only came through by having the chair and having that assessment. Hello, we're going to introduce you to the rest of the family.
Hi, I'm Phoebe.
And this is Bella. Going to say hi, Bella.
Hello.
I'm Hayden.
Hello.
And we'd just like to really thank you for listening. Thank you.
No.